So my manual muscle test today is internal rotation or medial rotation. So Deanne is going to be my subject today. So the muscles that's involved in this test is the pectoral major, the teres major, the subscapularis, and the which one did I leave out? Pectoral, teres, subscapular. I'm sorry, and the latissimus dorsi. That said, I'm going to have Deanne move over to the table, and we're going to move into our gravity-resisted testing position. So I want you to lay prone on the table for me. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have you slide down a little bit for me. Here, why don't I put this on your forehead? And I'll take another towel. Thank you. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place a towel under Deanne's humerus here so that we get it nice and level with the floor. I want to bring her shoulder or her arm out so that she is 90 degrees abducted at the shoulder and 90 degrees flexed at the elbow. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate to her or tell her what I want to do before I put her in the actual testing position. So what I'm going to want you to do is I want you to bring your arm up like that as far as you can and then back down, okay? Before we start the test though, I want you to turn your head in the opposite direction. So turn your head here. I'm going to stabilize on her thorax, and this is a patient consideration. We're going to palpate the subscapularis, and so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to basically be reaching or tucking my fingers in her armpit and touching the anterior surface of the subscapularis. So this might tickle a bit. You might want to be mindful of that when you're working with a patient, that they might be ticklish. I'm sorry. All right, so you want to medially rotate your arm for me. There you go, and back down. Good. All right, so she would get a grade 3. She has range of motion there. So now we're going to go into the resistant phase. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to support here, being mindful not to press her down. We just want to stabilize. I'm going to bring her arm up about halfway, and then I'm going to tell her to resist me as I push, okay? So you're going to push, 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 push. Good job. So she's a 5 there. So now we're going to go into a gravity eliminated position. So I'm going to have her move over to the side of the table a little bit more, and we just want to have her arm hang vertically, okay? That's good. So a testing consideration is, as she said earlier, we want to be sure that she's just not pronating and supinating at the wrist and forearm. We want to make sure it's happening from the humerus head. So what I'm going to have you do is rotate externally fully, okay? And now you want to turn internally. You want to turn your hand in, and there we go. So I felt the also contraction there. So you can slide over a little bit. So again, testing consideration is making sure that the humeral head is actually internally and externally rotating, letting the patient know that you're going to touch them in a potentially sensitive spot, so it might be ticklish, and that is how we do our internal or medial internal rotation manual muscle test.